member of this community recently asked me what type of music Greek people listen to, and that inspired me to create a video dedicated on that subject. It's Margelena from Helinika.com, and today we explore the topic of the music of Greece. Since the history of Greece spans thousands of years, Helinika's video is focusing on the types of music modern Greeks listen to, with a brief mention to ancient and Byzantine music. This video also includes a general categorization of the different music styles that originate from the country of Greece and its people. Keep in mind that although it would be preferred to play some of the most iconic Greek songs in the background, Helinika would have to acquire the rights to include all of them in this video. However, relevant songs and albums will be mentioned for you to explore later, and you can quickly grab a pen and a paper to remember which artists and songs you should research later. Although Greek songs are without a doubt the biggest hits in Greek music charts, what people actually listen to varies greatly. Greek people listen to different genres of music and in different languages. For example, in the latest Top 20 Hits of Greece, the song As It Was from Harry Styles is included. Therefore, the popular music in Greece today doesn't necessarily revolve around Greek music. From what we know from social media, a big trend among teenagers is trap music, the branch of rap that talks about how it is to live on the streets and survive through illegal activities. The trap songs Greek teens listen to may or may not be produced in Greece. Regardless of whether these songs are produced locally, this genre is foreign to Greeks. Trap music originates from Atlanta in the United States and doesn't reflect the local culture and the values of the Greek society. Another big trend among Greek teens is Korean pop, K-pop, with the group BTS having many Greek fans on their social media accounts. As with all trends, these two music genres may not survive for long, while others are considered timeless. Rock, jazz, and English-speaking pop music have passed the test of time and are still some of the most beloved foreign music genres among Greeks. But no matter how universally relevant they can be, international music categories cannot compete Greek genres. It is safe to say that most Greeks prefer Greek lyrics, references to Greek cultural norms such as kaimos, the bittersweet taste of emotional pain, and melodies created by traditional Greek musical instruments such as the bouzouki, the Cretan lira, the santouri, the kithara, and the harp, all stemming from Greece's ancient or medieval past. Now, when talking about Greek music, it is important to define what Greek music actually is. One definition would be the music that is produced by the Greek music industry. But what if some of the main record labels in Greece are currently focusing on releasing music that is inspired by foreign trends, such as trap music? Is trap part of Greek music? We all know that this is not the case. And let's not forget that the music behind the dance of Zorba, known as Sirtaki, was composed by the great Greek composer Mikis Theodorakis, but released by the 20th Century Fox Records from the United States. So based on that definition, the most Greek melody in the world is not Greek. Another definition would be the music produced by Greeks, or the music produced with the help of Greek instruments, or songs with Greek-speaking lyrics. But none of these can define Greek music precisely. For example, when Nana Mouskouri sang the White Rose of Athens in multiple languages, based on the above definitions, the song cannot be considered as part of Greek music. This conclusion seems illogical. Helinika's definition of Greek music is associated with the essence of the Greek culture, Hellenism. Any song or music composed by a Greek and/or with Greeks or Greece in mind can fall under the category of Greek music. If a song consists mostly of Greek melodies created with the use of widely used Greek musical instruments, can also be considered Greek music. Based on this definition, which is a little bit more broad, the song Orpheus, A masterpiece that resulted from the collaboration of the New York rock and roll ensemble and the great Greek composer Manos Hatzidakis in the 70s can be considered Greek. Its lyrics are English-speaking, and Manos Hatzidakis composed it in New York while it was recorded at the Atlantic recording studios of the same city. But the song is inspired by the tragic Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, and its dramatic composition and lyrics can only bring Greek drama into mind. Greek music for Helinika is therefore analyzed on a metaphysical level, beyond geography, time, nationality. Greek music is Orpheus playing his lyre in the underworld to convince Persephone to bring his lover back to life. Greek music are the melodic tunes of the Laterna, played somewhere in Plaka, Athens, by a street musician. It is the song of the sirens calling for Odysseus, or the psalms of the monks of Agios Oros. Greek music is the clapping sound of Greeks of Pontus, dancing to their traditional rhythms, or the ones of the Kurites dancing to the cries of Zeus, protecting him from Cronus. Greek music are the proud songs of the Kleftes from a besieged castle in the Peloponnese, the voices of the chorus echoing from the ruins of Epidavros, now, then, in the future. Music is an art form, and singers and songwriters are creative people who can't be thrown into boxes. Therefore, Greek musical categories are quite flexible. But let's see how the music of Greece today is usually separated. It is distinguished in two main categories: laiko tragoudi, the music of the people, endechno tragoudi, the artistic music. Although many artists and songs can fit into both categories, laiko tragoudi refers to the folk music of the cities. Many believe that it is the continuation of the older traditional folk songs known as Δημοτικά τραγούδια. If you have watched the video on the cursed bridge of Arta, then you may know what a Greek traditional folk song is. These songs usually revolve around a story, perhaps an urban legend, which is brought into life with the help of the santuri, the violin, the lyre, or the clarinet. Just like the Homeric hymns were narrated orally and helped the adventures of Odysseus survive throughout the years, we now know the beliefs of the Akriters, the protectors of the Byzantine borders, or the stories of the Klefts, those who fought against the Ottomans on the mountains. All thanks to these pre-modern Greek folk songs that often differed in style from place to place. A folk song from Crete would sound quite different from a folk song from Hippiros, and so on and so forth. If you have ever attended any traditional festival, known as panegyri in the Greek countryside, you may have heard or danced to the local folk music of that region. Another influence for laiko tragoudi is the rebetiko musical movement. It started in the Greek working-class neighborhoods of port cities, such as Piraeus and Smyrna, at the start of the 20th century. The Greeks of Smyrna are especially attributed for developing this musical genre, which often talks about the struggles of poverty, addiction, grief, and unrequited love. It was also often associated with the subculture of Maggas. Maggas was the prideful man who liked to drink, smoke, different types of smoke, gamble, pay for love, and prove his masculinity by getting into fights. Due to all the above, he often ended up in prison, where he'd spend his time coming up with songs with other criminals. As you can imagine, rebetiko was not favored by the lawful and well-respected families of Greece. It was the composer and singer Vasilis Tsitsanis who popularized the Greek musical genre, with other important artists of rebetiko being Sotiria Bellou, Giorgos Zabetas, Grigoris Pithikotsis, and Markos Vamvakaris. Playing the traditional Greek instrument known as bouzouki was a big part of the rebetiko movement, and generally of laiko tragoudi. With rebetiko and traditional folk songs being its predecessors, laiko tragoudi is perhaps the most popular Greek music genre of our times. It is often split into two categories based on its heaviness. The most painful the subjects of the songs and the deeper the voice of the singer, the heavier, βαρύ, the λαϊκό τραγούδι. For example, Vasilis Karas is known for his deep singing voice and his songs that express people's deepest feelings of kaimos. But there are lighter versions of λαϊκό τραγούδι. You may have heard of Konstantinos Argyros, Adonis Remos, and Nikos Ikonomopoulos. For the past 2 decades, these 3 Greek singers are perhaps some of the most popular among the general Greek population. The songs and melodies of elafri laiko, light laiko, have a more uplifting tone to them when compared to βαρύ laiko. From elafri laiko, we can derive another category, Greek laiko pop. If you have heard hits from singers such as Despina Vanavi, Anna Visi, Josephine, and some older songs from Eleni Foureira, then you already know what I'm talking about. This type of music, which combines Western pop music and Greek elafri laiko, with a bouzouki still playing in the background. Lastly, if you're very familiar with the modern Greek culture, you may have heard of the word skiladiko, which can be translated as of the dog. This is a negative word that is often used to describe a branch of λαϊκό τραγούδι. They are considered songs of lower artistic value and quality, while there are specific nightclubs that often play only these types of songs. These are also known as skiladika. Perhaps the Greek songs and singers with an international recognition are the ones of έντεχνο τραγούδι. These are songs of greater artistic value, with a lot of work and experimentation being put in the composition of the music and the creation of the lyrics. Some of the songs are what we call in Greek melopimena, poems that were turned into songs with the help of a talented composer. For example, the song «Το παράπονο», sung by Eleftheria Arvanitaki, is based on the poem with the same title by Odysseas Elitis, a world-renowned poet awarded with the Nobel Prize in Literature. The poem speaks of the human condition and the inevitable regret of not following one's heart's desires, the process of questioning the path we followed and whether we experience life as our genuine selves or as the reflection of the image others projected upon us. A feeling perhaps everyone experiences once in their lifetime. Another example is perhaps the song based on one of the most emotional poems of Greek literature by Mirtiotissa. The music is composed by Hatzidakis and the lyrics are expressed by Fleri Tatonaki. Now, if you're interested in not only listening to Greek music, but also understanding the essence of Greece and its culture, then Mikis Theodorakis and Panos Hatzidakis come to mind. And both of them have an educational background related to classical music. If you know the music of Zorba the Greek, then you already know the lyricist and composer Mikis Theodorakis. His songs usually revolve around poetry, Greek or foreign. Manos Hatzidakis is one of the most globally recognized Greek composers, winning the sympathy of all Greeks, regardless of their background, education, level, or class. In 1960, he won the Academy Award for Best Original Song for the song Never on Sunday, for the movie with the same title, which you may have seen already being recommended on Helinika's respective video. As with other artists of the music genre, Hatzidakis used Greece's ancient, medieval, and recent past, its myths and poems, to create phenomenal music. At the same time, Hatzidakis is remembered by all Greeks thanks to his masterpieces for some iconic Greek movies, such as Alice in the Navy. Other prominent composers of artistic Greek music are Mimis Plessas, Thanos Mikroutsikos, Manos Loizos, Stavros Xarchakos, among others. Another Greek prominent composer is Vangelis, Evangelos, Odysseas, Papathanasiou. Although he's not officially considered part of the έντεχνο musical genre, since he experimented with foreign genres instead, he's one of the most talented Greek artists to have ever existed. You have probably heard the soundtrack of Chariots of Fire. The Academy Award-winning score was composed by Vangelis, who has been behind many other epic soundtracks, such as the one of Blade Runner. Another thing you should know about Vangelis is that he had released a choral symphony named Mythodia for NASA's Mars Odyssey mission. Its premiere in Athens was truly spectacular, waking up the spirits of the past. When it comes to singers of έντεχνο τραγούδι, it is worth mentioning that these are usually called ερμηνευτές instead of τραγουδιστές, singers, since they are called to express deep emotions, just like an actor on stage. Therefore, world-renowned ερμηνευτές of that era are Haris Alexiou, Maria Farandouri, Nana Mouskouri, and many others. Within έντεχνο, there are various other categories. For example, Dionysis Savvopoulos is known as the creator of the New Wave era of Greek artistic songs in the 1960s, mixing the style of the Western music scene of that era with the instruments and melodies of traditional Greek music. Arleta and Marisa Koch are part of this musical subgenre as well. Today, there are many more artists who belong in this Greek musical genre, with many of them experimenting with various other musical waves. Ελευθερία Αρβανιτάκη, Αλκίνος Ιωαννίδης, Σοκράτης Μάλαμας, Θανάσης Παπακοσταντίνου, Νίκος Παπάζογλου, Άλκιστης Πρωτοψάλτη, Λαβρέτης Μαχαιρίτσας, Γιάννης Χαρούλης, Νίκος Πορτοκάλογλου, and Pantelis Thalasinos, who has somehow merged Greek traditional music with έντεχνο. Well, these are some of the most well-known contemporary artists of this musical category. Unfortunately, some of them, including Nikos Papazoglu, no longer live. Today, there are some new artists who have emerged in the scene. Although they may be experimenting with their musical styles, evolving and changing their direction, they are very promising and are recommended by Helinika. These include Marina Satti, known for her angelic voice, the band Usurum, and the duo Kadinellia. All of the above pay tribute to the traditional music of Greece while experimenting with modern and foreign musical styles. Music has always been important in Greece. In antiquity, we know of talented musicians such as Orpheus, gods of music such as Apollo, and a muse named Efterpi, who brought inspiration to musicians. We know that hymns which address the gods were types of songs. The same goes for paeans and dithyrambs. We know that epic poems were narrated aloud in a melodic way. And we also do know that ancient Greeks used a variety of instruments from the lyre, the kithara, and the avlos to pan's flute and tympana. In Byzantium, the ecclesiastical forms of music flourished. In other words, religious chants using the harp and the lyra, lauto and tambouras, defi and floyera. Greek music today is a descendant of the ancient hymns and the Byzantine chants. In fact, the most popular Greek instrument, the bouzouki, is a descendant of the ancient pandura, later known as tambouras. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did and you found it helpful, you can say so in the comment section, or you can add any other comment you'd like actually. You can subscribe and stay connected, you can share this video with a friend, and you can explore many more related videos on the Greek culture, history and language on this YouTube channel and helinika.com. Now if you open the description, you will see that I have a link that leads to the article that comes with this video on helinika.com, where I have linked all of my sources, and you can also find your Udemy discounts for learning Greek. Yeah, and hopefully you want to become a member of this community and stick around. We love talking about history, mythology, and the meaning behind myths, philosophy, and of course I also offer travel advice related to Greece. Have a wonderful day.